Hi there, my name's Nessy, and this is an interview I did with Kate Voegele in August of 2011. This was broadcast on RTE 2XM on the 30th of November 2011 on the Culture Cafe. If you want to find out more, you can go to nessymon.com or you can go to culturecaferadio.com.
Your One Tree Hill stuff is kind of almost eclipsing your music.
Sure. It's crazy.
And you know what I mean? You started off with
music.
your musical career. How do you want to change people? If you had to describe yourself, what way do you describe yourself to people?
Definitely as a musician first. I mean, you're absolutely right that One Tree Hill has such a far reach, all over the world too, that it kind of, people don't know whether you're a musician first or if you're just an actress who is like, I'm gonna make a record, you know? And I'm definitely, the former. I've been a musician since I was 15, so sometimes it is a little bit tough because you want people to know I'm the real deal, I'm not just one of these actresses who just wanted to make a CD for the fun of it, But I think at the end of the day, the good has outweighed the bad so much with One Tree Hill because it's been this amazing platform for my music, and I think that it's gotten people to come see me live, and then when they see me live, they realize, oh, okay, she's a musician.
She can play guitar.
Yeah, exactly. But it's nuts,
It's just mental. Like, this is your third album as well.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. You're only, it's weird because I compare people to how old my little sister is.
Sure.
My little sister is 25 and you're like 8 months younger than her.
Yeah.
And it's like, you've had 3 albums out already.
It's crazy. Yeah, sometimes I look at it and it's just like, it's amazing. I feel so blessed to have had the opportunity to get going on this so young, I kind of picked up a guitar when I was 15 just for the fun of it, just kind of, was playing gigs around town, and I was a high school kid, so writing songs about the drama of being in high school, and then all of a sudden people started loving the music and I sort of haven't put down the guitar since, and all of a sudden here I am 3 albums in, it's pretty it's pretty crazy. It's been definitely a whirlwind, but in the best way.
And you signed to MySpace Records as well.
So
you can verify that Tom is a real person.
He is. He's an awesome guy. It was hilarious. The way that I got signed was that, 5-6 years ago, Tom sent me a message on MySpace and was like, "Hi, I'm really interested in signing you to my record label that I'm starting." And I thought, okay, first of all, Tom's like the Wizard of Oz. This guy isn't real,
Yeah.
Second of all, he's on his own website emailing random people that he wants to sign them. I was like, this has to be a scam. Next thing I knew, I was, in his office in Santa Monica, and we were signing a deal, and so he's a real guy, and he really did a lot for me at the beginning of my career because he kind of believed in it first and said, I'm going to do this, so pretty cool.
So all this has been happening, and your album, you recorded with Jeff Trott as well.
Yes.
He's an amazing guy to be recording.
Love Jeff Trott so much. He and I had so much fun together. He's done a lot of things for musicians that I love, like Sheryl Crow, and he's just such a talent and such a wonderful person too. He's a great hang, amazing musician, and we really had fun together. He pulled things out of his songs that I didn't know were there. He really was the guy who said, let's try a harmony here, let's try this, this instrument, let's put a pump organ on this song, just stuff that I didn't think of myself, and that's what the best collaborations are.
Did you have any kind of a distinct view or just distinct outlook of how you wanted this album to be, or did you just go in, these are my songs, I'd like some input?
Sure, yeah, and it was a little bit of both. I think I knew that I wanted the album to be a bit more organic, a bit more raw than some of my other stuff, which has kind of been sort of more straightforward pop rock, a little slick. I wanted this one to have a little bit more of a grit to it. But I also wanted to hear what somebody else could sort of hear in the songs, and Jeff was just on the top of my wish list of somebody to work with, and he, turned out to be free and wanted to do it, and so it was great because there was kind of this blend of me saying, here's what I want, and him saying, I think that I can push this out of you, and that was really cool.
Okay, you're originally from Ohio, but you moved to California. Now, that seems to have had a little bit of an influence because you got if I have the name, Sandcastles and Sunshine in the Sky, they're
beachy
real
tunes.
Beachy kind of. How much of what kind of an impact on your whole life has moving to California? Because One Tree Hill isn't recorded there either.
No, it's in North Carolina on the other coast, so I'm kind of all over the country. But moving to California was big for me, and that definitely shaped a lot of the writing of this record because it forced me to grow up in ways that I didn't know that I needed to, And so while this record is probably more fun than any of my previous records, it's also heavier than, you know, any of my other records. So in certain areas, it's really fun, like Sunshine in My Sky and, you know, some of these summery songs. But then in other areas, even Sandcastles is about making big decisions in your life, and how they kind of don't tell you when you're a kid how much, you know, you're going to have to trust yourself when you're older, because you got to make decisions and take responsibility for them, you know? And
then there's tracks like Burning the Harbour, like the chords you use now, I just adore.
Thank you.
And it's quite... It's not as summery, it's not as bright, I suppose, as the others, but it's kind of quite mature for someone of your age.
Oh, thank you. Like that. Thank you. Yeah, it's one of my favorites because it's a song that really came about. Started writing it kind of after like the oil spill that happened in the Gulf, and I spent some time in Nicaragua just hanging out with some little kids down there and doing some stuff, playing some songs, and you kind of start to see how big the world is and how, you know, as a human race, we don't necessarily always make it a point to take care of it, you know, and take care of each other. And so that's sort of what that song was about, was sort of a cry for help, a call to action, like, hey, let's start taking care of each other and start taking care of our home, and, you know, because oftentimes it seems like we're just destroying it. So it's a little bit of a dark song, but it's also kind of empowering, I think.
I want to ask you about your dad. I was on your website, one of the many websites devoted to you, I might add.
Yeah.
It's like, I better ask you about that now that I brought it up. Your name, there's like 100 different variations with website devoted to you.
So funny. It's so awesome.
It's how do you keep your private life and all this other stuff at bay?
It's
because,
crazy.
Like, you're still only 24. You want to live your life.
Totally. No, it's a little bit nuts, but it's so awesome. I mean, my fans are amazing, and the fact that they care enough to, you know, devote these sites and these fan forums and stuff to me, I mean, that just makes my world. I think it's like, you know, if you're gonna be a musician, you gotta love that. You know, you gotta be ready for that. And so for me, like, I love stopping and talking to a fan who loves my music.
People that buy your records.
Yeah, and they relate to my music. Like, that's what got me through so much stuff in my life, was relating to music that I loved. And so if I can be that for somebody else, that's awesome to me. You know, I think that's just, it's the greatest. So I love it. You know, I mean, I think that my fans are great. They inspire me a lot, you know, so it's pretty cool.
Your dad, as I was saying, I saw him in one of the photographs of you in the studio.
Yeah.
He's a musician too.
Yeah. Yep.
How much of an influence is he, and is he part of your team when you go recording, or what's the story there?
Yeah, definitely. No, he's been a huge influence on me in every way. He really was the one who taught me to play. You know, when I was 15 and I picked up a guitar, I was like, Dad, can you just teach me, you know, how to play this thing? And he's been so encouraging and always so helpful. Like, he was never the dad who was pushing me on stage, but he also wasn't the dad who was like, you have to go to college and this music stuff is crazy. You know, he was always so supportive. And so yeah, he and I have collaborated a lot over the years, like just writing together and sort of arranging my demos together. And
have you heard Pink's song that she did with her dad? It's on the last track on.
That's so cool.
Is it the Try This album, I think? She did. It was a song her dad wrote about Vietnam years ago, and they did it on the last track.
Awesome.
You should check it out. It's really cool.
I totally will. That's amazing.
I'm chatting with Kate Voegele about her life as an actress and a musician. Here's part 2 of our chat.
You were talking about college.
Yeah.
Did you start college, or are you still doing college online, or what are you doing there?
That's crazy. I started it, and I went to university for 2 years, and then I left because I got that message from Tom, and I got signed, and I got a tour, so I was like, all right, I'm going to go see how this treats me. And so I've been doing college online for the last few years, and it very, very slowly, just because my life is super busy with my job. It's probably the only job in the universe that actually like frowns on a college degree, you know. In music, it's like they don't care if you have a degree. They'd rather you quit and start early, you know.
It's hilarious.
But so yeah, so I'm about 8 or 10 classes away from graduating. So, you know, I'm taking my time with it just because I love my job, but it'll be a good thing to have, you know, when it comes along.
Now, when you're on tour, like you're here in Ireland, it's a long way from LA.
Yeah.
And you have some sunshine out today.
It's beautiful.
But what kind of a team do you bring with you? Because, you know, if you're on the road, because if you're filming, you film in blocks.
Yeah.
If you're traveling, you travel in blocks.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to have some kind of sanity in your life.
Sure, yeah. Well, we've got a pretty small group here right now. It's just my band, and, you know, it's just 2 guys, a guy on the drum box and a guy on a guy on the guitar and then me on the guitar. And then, you know, I mean, we'll bring a tour manager sometimes to sort of keep everything in line, but that's about it. You know, I'm not big on traveling with a bazillion people in an entourage and personal assistant. It's expensive, and it's like, you know, we kind of get it done with everybody in the tight-knit group, and so it depends on the tour, but right now we're actually there's only a few of us,
So with One Tree Hill then and your tour, how do you plan it all out? How far in advance do you try and plan your schedule as such?
You know, it totally depends. Sometimes it feels like my life's mapped out all year, and then sometimes it feels like things just come up. I mean, literally, you know, I could get a call in 2 days and they'd be like, we need you for One Tree Hill, you know, you need to go there right after New York, and okay, you know, and then you fly and you go. So it's always a gamble, but it's most of the time we try to plan it out. I would say a couple months in advance for tours and stuff, but I mean, you know, for the most part, you got to kind of be ready for anything.
And music is such a big part of One Tree Hill as
well.
I mean,
it is.
Wakey Wakey, Mike Grubbs now is like, their album's coming out here next month.
That's
and they're
so
playing
exciting.
in the Academy. Is it the Academy as well, or in Crawdaddy they're playing it?
That's awesome.
But, you know, first of all, there was kind of shows like, let's say, Dawson's Creek, and then there's the OC, and there's, you know, One Tree Hill.
Yeah.
And they've become such a part of popular culture, really.
Yeah, I know, it's
everybody
crazy.
knows them.
It's really cool. I mean, I love what a part of those shows music is, because, you know, it really it's such a kind of enhancing feature to the scenes. You know, they have these scenes that are dramatic and there's so much emotion, and they pick the right song, and that really just enhances it so much, you know, and it allows kind of pop culture to really connect that much more with the scene and that much more with the song too, because now they associate the scene with these characters that they love with that song, you know, and it's a really cool kind of marriage that they've created.
You play Mia.
Yeah.
But you also play some of your own songs.
Yeah.
So where does Kate end and Mia start?
Yeah, sure. It's a good question. We're a lot alike in a number of ways. You know, she's definitely become a lot more outgoing as the series has gone on, and I was that way too. Like, I started out super shy and quiet when I was in high school, and then really kind of evolved and grew up into somebody who now I'm a pretty extroverted person. So Mia and I are alike in that sense. She's also, you know, I think she likes everybody. She's really casual, informal person. I'm like that too, you know. And Mia she's not pretentious whatsoever. But you know, then she's very feisty, and she's kind of dramatic. And I like to think that I'm not quite as drawn to drama as she is, but she likes to stir it up. She likes to get it going, and kind of, you know, it's pretty funny. So you know, we've got kind of a balance of similarities and differences, but what's cool is the music is shared, and there's enough of me and her character that my fans have gotten to know me through her, I think.
There's what else was I going to say to you? Yeah, the only other thing that you've ever acted in is like some school play.
Yeah, no, I'd never done any acting before, so it was really crazy for me when I you know, when I got this part. I just couldn't believe that this was something that I was getting to do. I really kind of cut my teeth on the show, on the camera, you know, rather than sort of having all these lessons first and then getting in front of the camera. It was pretty crazy, but I've really fallen in love with the creative kind of challenge of acting. It's really a cool artistic outlet for me now, you know, even if it's not my sort of first language, what have you. It's really a lot of fun.
I like the way that you call yourself singer, songwriter, actress, painter.
Yeah, just an artsy kid all around, kind of, you know.
Do you think you'd do more acting after this?
I think so, yeah. I think if it was the right context and the right role, I would love to. Really would love to. It's kind of just about waiting for that to come along and sort of seeing, you know, I'm not one of those people who wants to just be in anything and everything and just get in front of the camera. You know, I kind of want it to be something I really connect with, but yeah, I would love to.
So what's in the next while for you?
We're gonna go to New York after this. Well, we do London. We go back to London. We're doing an art show because I just released a pair of sunglasses that I designed.
Yeah,
which I'm really excited about.
Yeah, cool.
So excited about that. So we're doing that on Monday, and then we go to New York and do another show with the sunglasses, and then I'm going out and doing a tour in the States. starting in October.
Parachute. You were on.
Yeah.
You were doing Natasha Bedingfield as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, which was so much fun. She's such a doll. She's really, really sweet, and we had it was nice to be with a girl, not with all these dudes all the time. So,
have you heard her brother's music?
Yeah.
Daniel.
Oh yeah, Daniel's great.
Amazing.
He's huge. Yeah, it's a talented family.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah. Really,
so
really
funny.
talented. Listen, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah,
really
thank you so
appreciate
much.
it.